Hey everybody, Mr. H here checking in today. We are moving on from our exciting topic of uh, calculating simple interest, and now we're going to go into another real exciting grown-up topic. We're going to talk a little bit about insurance. So we're going to talk today primarily about auto insurance, since that's the first one that you are going to come across in your life, most likely. I mean, you already probably have health insurance, we hope, or some sort of health coverage. Um, but this is a big one for teenagers, as many of you have either started driving or will start driving, especially on your own here in the next few years. Okay, so first we're going to look at auto insurance. What is it? Well, insurance is really a contract between the insurance company and you, where the insurance company agrees to cover any big financial loss, any big financial issue, and not any, but some big financial issues that could come up if you're involved in a car accident. Um, they have certain ones that they'll be able to cover, and uh, these are all again auto insurance, all involving the car. So you pay them a little bit of money each month, a reasonable amount of money each month, and then if there is a massive expense that's covered under your insurance, they will give you a check to pay for that. Okay. Why are why do we have insurance? Well, it's financial protection, so it's just smart to have. That way, you don't have to spend a lot of money at a certain point. You can spend a more reasonable amount month to month and not have to pay out the nose when something bad happens. Um, Also, if you take a loan out on your car, on a vehicle, the lender is going to require it. You have to have it. It's in the contract that you sign with them that says you have to have a certain type of insurance. And because there's a minimum type of insurance under state law, the state of Iowa requires that you at least have liability insurance. So you have to be able to um, at least pay for or have insurance to pay for others' uh, vehicles or other property that you damage within your car or from your car. Okay, it's like we said, financial protection. Car accidents are expensive, especially if somebody's injured and they have medical bills on top of that. Having auto insurance protects your car as well as any damage you could do with other cars. Okay. Um, one car accident, one bad car accident can lead to so much debt for somebody. So we don't want that to happen. Um, why else do you have to have it again? Lenders, if you take out a loan or if you lease your car, that person is called a lessor. Um, if you take out a loan, you are required to properly insure your car. They want to make sure that the lender will get their money back if for the rest of that car if your car is damaged, lost, or stolen beyond or damaged beyond repair. Not maintaining your car insurance with a vehicle can result in repossession, so the bank can just take the car back if they find out you do not have insurance. Three, it's required by laws. Again, like I said, in Iowa, you at minimum have to have a liability insurance. Um, so if you're caught driving without that, your license can be suspended. Um, and having, um, you could also have to pay a really big fine as well. It wouldn't result in necessarily jail time, but a big fine and losing your license is not a headache that anyone wants to deal with. There are 5 types of coverage. We'll go over them here: liability, collision, comprehensive, personal injury protection or PIP, and uninsured motorist. Okay. And the first type of coverage I kind of mentioned earlier, liability. So car insurance pays for a certain amount of damage to the people or property caused by a driver. So if I am in the high school parking lot and I rear end the car in front of me, My liability insurance, my liability plan will pay to fix that car and any damage that results from that accident. Okay. Liability doesn't cover the damage to my own car or my injuries if I'm at fault, but if I cause the accident, my liability insurance will cover other people. Okay. There are two types of liability. Bodily injury. So if I'm at fault for the car accident and the other person gets injured, that will pay for any injuries that they have to um, or that they will have as a result of that accident. Sometimes this can just be like, oh, they broke their wrist and having that taken care of. Sometimes it can be injuries that have lingering effects, and my insurance would have to pay for that any treatment they have for the rest of their life potentially. Um, then property damage is the second part of it, and so that would be like they if I rear end somebody and their bumper falls off, I pay for them to get a new bumper, or my insurance, excuse me, pays for them to get a new bumper. Collision coverage. There's collision coverage, which will replace your car um, or pay for any repairs if you cause an accident. So again, if I'm in the high school parking lot and I rear end the car in front of me and my bumper falls off, I have um, I will have the bumper replaced if I have collision coverage. Comprehensive coverage will cover the car if it's stolen, damaged by weather, damaged by vandalism, anything like that. So if I have my car parked outside at my house and there's, I don't know, a derecho comes through and a tree falls on it and it takes out the windshield and the hood, my comprehensive car coverage would have um, would mean that we have uh, the ability to get that fixed by insurance. If I only have collision coverage, I would be out of luck here. And I would have to pay for the windshield and the hood to be replaced out of my own pocket. Okay. But if I have comprehensive coverage, then I would be fine. Um, yeah. Personal injury protection. Um, so this would be an additional cost that I could put on there. Um, that way I know if I'm injured or somebody riding with me is injured in a car accident, I could have um, those medical expenses paid for as well. It doesn't matter if somebody else is at fault or if I'm at fault. And then uninsured motorist coverage pays for medical bills and car repairs if your passengers or you or your passengers are hit by a driver that doesn't have insurance. Okay, so if somebody is driving illegally, they hit my car, I could have coverage for that. Not many people get uninsured motorists because they expect that most people are insured as they go. Okay, so there are some types. Um, how much will insurance pay if you are in an accident? They won't just pay anything and everything. I mean, they aren't going to buy you like a $300,000 new car if your 2014 Ford Focus gets totaled. The limit or maximum amount an insurance company will pay is called your coverage limit. Um, and what this means is that if you are in an accident, your insurance company will pay up to a certain amount per person and per accident. So uh, you may have $50,000 per person. So, like, if you're the only person in the car in an accident, you could get $50,000, um, or it could be $200,000 per occurrence. So, if I'm in an accident and I have a 15 passenger van, and it's full of 15 people, the max that they will pay then is $200,000. What determines the cost of your insurance policy? Oh, there are many, many factors. Okay, so first of all, the type. So are you getting liability coverage only? Or are you getting comprehensive coverage? Are you adding in that personal injury protection or uninsured motorist? The more you add into a package, the higher the price goes up. Okay, um, the amount of coverage. So if I'm again looking at my 2014 uh, Ford Focus, um, I may want a good amount of coverage on that because it's a car I rely on, but um, it's not a Corvette where an antique Corvette where it's worth a lot more money. So I'm going to put more coverage on the nicer car versus um, the um, everyday driver that isn't worth nearly as much. Your driving record. So if you get speeding tickets, if you're in accidents a lot, your insurance costs go up. Your age and your gender. Girls, you're typically cheaper to insure than boys. Um, and that's uh, nothing against boys, but they are just usually more aggressive, more intend to get in more accidents. Age. Teenagers, you are the highest risk because you're the least experienced drivers. You don't have the experience, and so you tend to get into more accidents statistically. So it costs more. When I was a teenager and got put on my parents' car insurance plan, it doubled the cost of their insurance just to have me and my junky old car that my grandma gave me on the policy. Miles driven. So if you drive a lot, you're more likely to get into a car accident. So somebody like me who drives 50 plus miles a day might pay more than somebody that lives in the same town that they work. Typically, a little bit. Type of car, actually, that not quite with mine, but like if you're driving like for work or for longer distances. Um, Type of car. So again, if I have something that's souped up, can go really fast, high horsepower, I'm going to pay a little bit more for it than if with my 2014 Ford Focus that can probably get up to like 80 miles an hour and then it would stop getting faster. Just because the faster you drive, the more likely you are to get into an accident. Where you live matters. Um, yeah, where you live. So um, if it's deemed a certain like a dangerous place to have a car, like I know insurance rates are higher in certain places where auto theft is more common, um, because because the companies have to pay out more, so they charge a little bit more in those areas. Um, Credit score. So if you can pay off your debt, that they usually see that as a sign of being responsible. And then you're less likely to need the insurance. Your marital status, married people typically are more responsible as well, and your income levels because of what you can afford. All these things mean that you should shop around for your insurance because one company may charge you a lot more than another company. All right, guys, that is just a brief overview on car insurance. We will go into more on other types of insurance when I'm back tomorrow. I really, really hope to be back tomorrow. This shouldn't go another day. So when I see you tomorrow, we'll talk about different types of insurance as well. As for the rest of the day, you are going to read two readings on auto insurance and then answer some questions. You can answer those questions either right on that paper or on a separate piece of paper, and we'll talk through them a little bit tomorrow. Those will be due tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great day and be good people.